Hey, somebody mentioned having fun yet, so here we have a case study. We can jump right into the party. Look at this. This is where it's going to get a little sensitive. I hope, but I'm right about these things, and you'll agree with me that I'm right. I know you will. You just haven't thought about how to handle it. One of the things that we don't have to like it, we don't have to accept it. That the market and the way we do business has changed. Thank you, Mr. Internet and technology. It not only has changed, it is continuing to change. As Bill Gates says, it's at the speed of thought. Well, I don't know if it's changing quite that fast for us, but a lot going on, right? I was reading a broker agreement, a builder agreement he had for his co-broker, paying his co-brokers in 1980. This was this was published. It's in my book, The Condominium Sales Book. That's where I was reading it. I may put a PDF of that online that you download it sometime once you get it more involved with us in our designation council, which you'll hear more about after you become certified. But anyway, I was looking at it, and it hadn't changed. It hadn't changed a bit. Not really. 1980. What is this? 19. This is 2014. What is that? 34 years. Co-broker policy. Same policy. Now some people have changed it, unfortunately. But here's my point on this. You saw the some of the videos, right, in section one, with this multi-million-dollar marketing program out there, but out there on the internet right now by BHI, this builder organization, convincing people to buy new instead of, as they say, used home. Well, more and more people are going to be registering with home builders, with or without that campaign. Actually, this is the way it's going because they're online looking at new homes. They're not going to spend 3 to 6 months before they buy a house looking at homes on the internet, not looking at new homes. Some of them get caught up in that, and well, I'm coming to that area. Another month or two, they like these homes they're looking at. They register with the builder right online. You've already run into that if you've been around a while. Now you don't have to like it as a realtor. You don't have to do it. You can say, well, that just proves right there I'm not getting involved with new homes. See, that's exactly backwards. And I have got to challenge most of you who think like that. How you doing? One of the things I used to warn my agents about, as the broker, and they'd get around people telling them how to do their business. And I would tell them, I said, look, before you start listening and getting all this counsel, you find out what kind of sales they've got. If they're not making the kind of sales that you want to make, why would you listen to somebody making 3 or 4 or 5 sales a year and you need to make 15 to 20? What are they going to teach you? We have to be really careful, don't we? So these are decisions you have to make yourself, because, and you will, I hope, after we get through this course, because it's a lot easier than you think. The problem is when we don't have the facts and we don't know what we're doing and we're not educated in the area and we refuse to become educated, then we're still left to our own imagination. And the older we get, the worse I think, the impact of our imagination might be. I was talking to a guy the other day. He said he didn't fool with builders. He said he remembered a builder beat him out of a commission. I said, really? When was that? He said, 1996. That's 18 years ago. Just now we've got the internet and we got technology. But here, let's talk about this case study. These case studies are actual case studies that I'm personally familiar with, okay? And this was fairly common, of course. But what would you do? You qualified some people, and they're sitting in your office, or they sent you an email, or whatever, however it comes up, and all of a sudden they tell you they register with a local home builder, and they'd like to see their homes this afternoon. Or maybe they've already been out there once. What do you do now? If you don't know what to do, you're going to panic and stammer around and try to figure something out and run through your mind, what can I show them to get them off of that, and see if I can get them off of that and get them on into something else. In other words, you're not going to take them back out there if you can help it, because you don't know if you're going to be paid. You probably aren't. This is what you're thinking. So what you need to do is, first of all, let them know that it's not a big deal. Let your prospects always know that you are not surprised. Nobody's throwing you any curveball here. This is the world we live in. And say that. You know, Joe, that's not a problem. We deal with that all the time. It's the world we live in now. And that's great that you did that. You know, it just tells me that you're really serious. You know what you starting to, you probably worked through some things and really getting it down to what you really want, whether it be new or resale. And that's not a problem. So we can certainly do that this afternoon. And the first chance you get, you call the builder. Of course, you're going to ask the prospects who the builder is if they don't tell you. And by the way, we'll talk about this in section 3. But this gets back to whether they tell you or not. Depends on how much they trust you, right? So we'll be talking about that. So you get on the phone, you call the sales office. Now, here's what happens here. You call the sales office, talk to the sales agent. Say, I've got a prospect here who has visited you a couple of months ago or recently, and they want to, I didn't bring them out the first time, and if I'm assuming, I'm not familiar with your policy, but am I correct in assuming that your policy expects us to register them in person with the prospect the first time they come out? Is that right? That, you know what he or she's going to say? Yes, that is our policy, but we have exceptions. And I will certainly protect you if you bring them back out here and they buy a home. Now, why would they do that? I don't know why they don't just put it out there like that. I mean, it's just an unwritten rule and policies done all the time, every day. 99.5% of all the builders do it. They make exception to that rule. You know why? They need the business, number one. And number two, you've got a prospect in your office who's already seen them, maybe visited already registered out there, who wants to go back a second time. This is a very interested and good prospect. They want to come back the second time. What that builder does not want you to do is not bring them back out. So you're going to be protected. You can confirm that, have them send you an email. You can send them one or just take their word for it. If it's a production builder or a good reputation, or a builder with a good reputation, they will protect you. If they say that, they'll give you their word, they'll do it. So you bring them out and they'll protect you because they want that buyer. They're not that interested in how the buyer got out there. It used to be a big problem. It did. But it's not. That problem has gone away for the most part. It used to be a huge problem because commissions were considered an extra cost, a sales cost on top of their very heavy marketing costs. But now they have the internet, not having to buy the big billboards and run the four color double truck ads on Sunday, and so forth, spend all this crazy marketing money. They've figured out a way now, and they've seen the studies, the market studies that say they need the realtors, so they're going to be nice to us. Truth be known, they'll bend over backwards to make sure we get paid, even sometimes when we don't deserve it, and don't get me started on that. But that's what you should do, okay? That's how you handle it. Happens all the time. That's the way we work today, right? No big deal, you see? So that's it. That's the way you handle that one, okay?